One. Hi everyone, I'm Christine Josty of Mail Something Pretty, and I want to show you these fun Easter cards. They are shaker cards, and who doesn't love shaker cards? So you can kind of see that there's like fun little gems inside, and then you open it up and you have a little place to write. Each of these have different ribbons. This is a fairly easy shaker card I'm going to show you because I wanted it to focus on the paper, the bunny paper. This is from the Countryside Inn paper that will be retiring soon, sadly. It's all full of different blues, and I just love blues. So I had reserved this bunny paper for a club project, and so we're finally getting to use it. But I just want to show you what we're going to do. So the cutout, the little scallop cutout, I used from my much well-loved Scallop Contour dies, and I just found out yesterday, sadly, that they're retiring. But I just wanted to show them to you because it's a great set. I use these scallops quite a lot. You can even use them. There's two dies to match the flowers here, or you could just use the scallops. But those are the two coordinating products, and so I'm using this die. So the first thing we're going to do is actually cut, and then we're going to emboss. So I have a piece of, I think it's a standard piece, but let's just, oh, here it is. Let's be certain. Yeah, it's 4 by 5 1/4. So it's just a standard layer, and I'm going to cut it out with my machine here. My well-loved, well-used, it's seen some better days, but it works great. All right, so I'm going to line it up. I'm going to center it as best I can. All right, that looks good. Put it down. And I'm just going to cut it out. So I'm cutting first, and then I'm going to emboss. And the reason why I'm cutting, if I embossed it first and then cut, when I went through the second time to cut, it would flatten the design of the embossing. And I don't want that to happen. So, and you'll see, we're actually going to, I think I showed you, we're going to use this piece for the inside. And so we want that flat anyways. So you could make the card. I actually first made the card and just keep it flat, and that looks nice too, but the embossing just gives it a little extra. So I'm going to use, you can use any one, but I'm using my Distress Tile embossing folder. And actually I don't need these pieces. All right, so I'm going to just put that in there, and use my gray plate. And this way we have a nice texturized piece. So again, if I emboss first and then cut, all that would get flattened. All right, so we have that, and now the card base I'm using is Boho Blue, and I just took that from the colors of the paper. I think this particular piece has Boho Blue, Night of Navy, and the little flowers are Balmy Blue, which is why I kind of picked the pieces together. All right, so we're just going to, I'll tell you what size this is too. This is 3.5 by 5. So it's not exactly equal borders on there, but it doesn't matter because this is going to cover it over so you don't see it. So I think I was trying to cut smart when I cut it. I want to make sure I had enough for everybody. Actually, I probably didn't cut it exactly the same size as that in case when I put it on top, it didn't line up. So you get a little wiggle room this way. So you're going to center it here. All right, and I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to flip this over to the wrong side, and we're going to use a window sheet. So This one just fits. And I keep an envelope because they're clear and I won't find them. You want to make sure your window sheet is at least as big, a little slightly bigger than your opening, because we're going to seal it, because when you put in the shaker things, you just don't want them to fall out. I'm going to glue, and I think glue works better. I found at club people who were using the tape runners, because it's texturized, the tape runner was ripping the paper. So I do think glue is best. You could use tear and tape. That would be okay, because that wouldn't rip. So yeah, so tear and tape or glue I think are the best. And if you don't have window sheets, sometimes when you get the stamp sets, you get this acrylic paper or whatever it is, this piece, and you can cut that, because I saved mine. All right, so I'm just gonna smooth that. Try not to get too much glue. All right, like that. So push that aside. And actually, while I'm letting that dry, I'm just going to put the inside in. So this is also from that same paper pack. And I decided you could leave it plain, but I said, since I had this, this cutout left, I just thought we would use it. So you can either leave it plain, or I added some paper in just for something different on the inside. And you can use either side. Oh, I probably should have I haven't used this side, but now it's too late, because I already put glue on it. And then just glue that inside, or you can use this for a little, like a tag or bookmark or something. Okay, but I just thought, you have the shape of the scallop, and then you open it up, and then you have the shape of the scallop on the inside. All right, so that gave that a few seconds to dry. So you can use, whatever you're using for your shakers. So these are the champagne dots. I'll show you what they look like. These ones are not sticky. Or you can use, these are, I forget what they're called. This is not the right bag. These are in the mini catalog. And I actually I had these tiny micro beads in the same color. And I've had them for years. So I added them together. And so, but they tend to run around. So what I found is, if you use like a box and you put you can even see the beads in here. If you put your card in there, and then at least they're not going all over your desk. Oh, but before we do that, we actually have to do something else. I found that the foam strips work best, but you could use dimensionals, and just individually dimensionals, but I do like the foam strips. And so I'm just going to put them on, and I'm just going to piece them together. They actually come longer. This one is just cut, and I'm just going to cut in a butt. So you want to make sure there's no gaps, because otherwise your beads will escape. So I want them, so no spaces, especially with these micro beads, no spaces. You could wrap it around, but this one I'm just cutting. And I'm also having it go close to the where the cutout is, because you could put it to the edge, but if you did that, all of these things would even sink lower. So it's kind of nice to see them on the bottom. So that's why I have it close to the edge. Again, if I had dimensionals, you can just put each dimensional, or you could use that too. I would actually go in that way, so the zigzag is on the outside if you're going to do that. All right, so there we go. So there is our edge, and I have a few fingerprints. You can actually see this one was used for a stamp set, but you won't even notice it when it's on. So I'm going to peel the this one has more pieces because they're smaller pieces. Peel all those off. All right, so all those are off. So that's sticky. I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to go back to my box. If I was using these ones that don't move around as much, I wouldn't necessarily need the box. But what I'm going to do is I only need a scoop. This is just like a teaspoon. Put it right in the middle. I don't know if you can see, but those tiny beads are moving. But you want to kind of keep it in the middle. And then you're going to put this right on top. I'm actually going to stand up to do this. And you're going to put it down and then press. And that way everything kind of stands in the middle. A lot of times people will put it on the piece that had the window sheet and then they put the card on top. I think it works easier this way because you really can kind of see what you're doing. And then you get your shakers. It's just so much fun. So then I just did a simple labeling. Again, I wanted that bunny paper to shine. So I just have a strip of paper and I'm using Boho Blue and Night of Navy Stampin' Write markers. And this is the Happy Easter from, what is it called? I celebrate everything through the years. I don't remember. So whatever stamp you're using, I'm coloring right on the stamp. So I'm coloring the Happy, the lighter blue. You can see it's been used a lot. So I haven't cleaned it in between because we've been using it. And then the Easter, I'm doing the navy blue. And then I'm going to kind of huff or put my breath on it just to re-moisten anything that has dried. And then I'm going to line it up. And there we have our Happy Easter. Some of them, this might look a little lighter on my other ones. And then we're just going to add a little ribbon. Again, I wanted to keep this simple on purpose. So I have, this is some ribbon, and I'll show you, I have different ribbons on each one. I have somewhere, I know I saw it, nope, that's not, here it is, a little piece of linen thread. I'm just going to fold this in half, and you can just figure out, you know, how big by the width of your card. And I find if I fold it in half, and I'm going to put a block on top just to kind of keep it in place, and I'm just going to tie a knot and then a bow around it. This makes it so much easier so you don't have to worry about that moving. Like that. And then I'm going to use, I'm just going to flatten that so it's easier. I'm going to use tear and tape for my ribbon. I'm just going to actually put the tear and tape directly on top of that window sheet. Don't worry, you won't see it. Peel off the backing. Oops. Peel off the backing. So now I can just stick my ribbon on there. Oops. This piece, I'm actually okay with it moving down. So I only want one piece to stick. And I'm going to put this, oh, I should have, so it's kind of big. I should have moved that over a little bit. Look at, the cool thing about that is you can move it. I wanted my knot over a little bit so I can tuck that in there. And then I'm actually going to just use, I'll even just use this one. The strip, I'm only putting it on the top. If I can peel it off. And then I'm gonna tuck this in there. I wanted that piece to go down. Yeah, I need it to be straight. Okay, there we go. And then I'm probably gonna fuss with the bow and everything, but there you go. So it's really on the simpler side of the shaker cards. Sometimes people will have like a frame that goes around and all this stuff, but I wanted it simple because I wanted really the background paper to shine. And then you have that. So let me show you. So I use, this is like a sheer ribbon with a silver, actually this is the same one. I use silver twine to tie that one, and I just used linen thread to tie that one. I think they both look really nice. And then this one I used, this is from the holiday catalog, this velvet balmy blue ribbon with the cording, and this actually always reminds me of Elsa from Frozen. And then this one is, it's like a ombre sheer, well, partially sheer. It's actually a little blue with white ribbon. So you can use all sorts of things, but they all kind of are similar, like there. So I hope you liked it. Again, it doesn't have to be an Easter card. You just change up the papers that you used and whatever label you use, but it's fun to highlight the paper in the background. You can also use a different cutout. There's lots of different rectangle cutouts that you can use that Stampin' Up! Has. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. Leave a comment, let me know. I'm Christine Josti of Mail Something Pretty. Have a wonderful day.